Hello, hello. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Happy Workaholic podcast. I'm your host, Kellyanne Gorman, and you might have noticed that there is no intro music here, and there also will not be any outro music. I just wanted to get a new show up today. It's Saturday morning. I did some meal prep. I did a face mask. I'm going to work out, and I have lots of work to do, and some of that is to upgrade this show. I'm changing the branding and changing what you're going to be hearing. So I wanted to take this show, this episode 113, to fill you guys in on a lot of stuff that has happened this week. As I said, it's Saturday morning. I usually like to have my shows up Thursday night so that they're available on Friday. And if you listen religiously, you would know that my schedule has kind of been all over the place, and there is a reason for that. So I kind of want to go over that first, and then get into the really, really great stuff. So if you listen to episode 111, it was my most emotional episode ever. I'm pretty much hysterically crying the whole time. I contemplated deleting it quite a few times, but I've gotten so much feedback from people listening to it. I just feel like it really needed to be out there. This content needed to be available for other people that may be going through something like I have. So the verdict is in, and I was officially misdiagnosed with this autoimmune disease, neuromyelitis optica, NMO for short. I don't have it. I don't have any more lesions on my brain. They're gone. All of my tests have come back negative, and a million other things. So I've consulted with the best in the world, the top experts, and I do not have this disease. I was misdiagnosed. So after this show, I'm not going to be talking about that because I legally won't be able to. But I do want to share with you, it's 150% like I've been misdiagnosed. It's still like so hard to comprehend. It's hard to change my mindset where I could wake up blind, or I'm going to lose all the feeling in my body and not be able to ever walk again, to I have my life back. Like, I can fucking do whatever the hell I want now. And not be afraid, not be scared. And I'm not really that type of person to be, have fear. But it's just in your mind every day, in the morning when you wake up, like, or something will remind you, like, oh yeah, I might not be able to do that. So it's official. I've been misdiagnosed, and now I'm moving on with my life. This past week, however, was like, it was so crazy because I had changed the surgery to remove my port. I had a huge metal port in my chest and my neck, and that's how I would receive my chemo. I had 10 chemo treatments, which obviously I should never have had. And my veins are invisible. Like, it's a nightmare. I had 15 IVs when I was in the hospital for 9 days once. So that just goes to show you, like, you just can't find them. And this week was just so ironic because first of all, the surgery was amazing. I was a nervous wreck. I was really, really scared. And I'm not usually that scared, but I don't know. It was just, the procedure putting this thing in was so horrific for me, and it was the most pain I've ever experienced in my life throughout this whole entire 3-year health drama. That was the most painful. Without going into any details, it was just horrific, and it lasted like almost 6 days. I think 5 or 6 days. So I was really, really, really scared going into this, and the surgeon was fantastic. I was telling him about this podcast when I was all high as a kite in my surgery. I was awake, but definitely high as a kite, thank God. I did not feel a thing. He was fantastic. And he said, you better not mention my name on this show because I like to live a private life. I'm like, I would never do that. But he was amazing. The nurses were incredible. And it was just so crazy because this week I was also getting the final say in writing that I did not have this disease. So it was crazy that, after rescheduling the surgery, I think I've rescheduled it 3 times. I just wasn't ready because I thought, what if something happens? What if I had another relapse, which ended up being just from all these drugs I was on? What if, something happens? I felt safer having this device in my body because I'm easily accessible. It takes 2 seconds to access a metal port to get an IV of something that maybe I would need into my system, into my bloodstream. And so it kind of was like my clutch. Like I felt so much more at ease having this port. So I could not get an IV in the day of the surgery. And I had 2 nurses. They tried on each arm 3 times. So I have 3 bruises on my right and left arm. And ironically, they ended up having to access the port to give me the drugs to make me so high and loopy so that I would not feel any pain for my procedure. So as soon as I felt good enough, they're like, "Are you good? Are you good?" I'm like, "Yep." They're like, "We've got 10 minutes. And so they accessed my port, gave me the drugs, and then took it all out once. So I'm extremely lucky. My right arm, I can finally start using. That procedure was on Tuesday. It's Saturday right now. So I think by tomorrow night, for sure Monday, I should be okay. I don't see any bruising, which is amazing. I was covered in bruises last time when I got it in about 1.5 years ago. And right now, I'm looking at it. It's doing its healing thing. But man, the recovery process from that, I can't lift anything with my right arm. I vacuumed my car yesterday with my left arm. I was doing some meal prep last night, but then I did more this morning because I forgot I can't use my right arm. I'm right-handed. It's so hard. So that happened this week. I had another dentist appointment, and I've been going to the dentist a lot to get everything out of my mouth that is mercury and metal. And I just had a lot of dental work that had to be done, again, because my entire mouth has been destroyed from the drugs I was on and the chemo I was on. So 2 weeks ago, I had an appointment to get the left side of my mouth done, and that was almost 2.5 hours. And I was wide awake, but totally numb, thank God. And then this week was a cleaning. Next week is the final appointment, so it's probably going to be like another 2-something hours to finish the right side of my mouth. And then it will be all white. And then my next step, I just have to go to an oral surgeon and get 2 more things fixed. And then my mouth hopefully will be perfect. And then I would like to have a Invisalign because why not? So that's my week. And then on Thursday, I had, was it Thursday? Oh my God, I have to look. No, it was Wednesday, the day after my surgery. I met with my neurologist. And, sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze. That is when I got the official diagnosis, and I had it in writing, and it's just insane. I was hysterically crying the whole time. I said, so I don't come back here anymore? Like, I'm never going to see you again? Can I bring you gifts? Can I bring you, they're like, yeah, you could bring us chocolate on Valentine's Day. And I'm like, I'm for sure doing that because they saved my life. And it's just like, I fought this doctor so hard. And for those of you that have been listening and have followed my health journey this far, I will fight for anything until I know for sure. I mean, I've had 10 neurologists in this mix of this health journey. And he was number 6. And the rest I've consulted. So he's really the final say as well. I didn't believe him when he first told me, and I fought him, and I consulted with very well-known names on the East and West Coast, very well-known universities and hospitals, and then, of course, the Mayo Clinic, which is the best of the best. So I don't have this disease, and it's just so crazy to me. I did a Facebook Live the other day. I did it at the beach because I thought with a lot of people around I wouldn't cry, but I mean, 2 words for you, emotional roller coaster, don't even justify like how I felt. I'm not on any prescription meds. I've given them all up. I took myself off of all of them except for my thyroid, because I still have an autoimmune disease called Hashimoto's, which you'll hear about every now and then. But I do not have NMO. So there's no reason why I should have been on all these pills. I actually just yesterday threw away the rest of them. Hundreds and hundreds of pills thrown away. It like made me so nauseous just looking at them. Like all of these chemicals I've put in my body for the past 3 years that I didn't even need. And they were so strong. I've been on anxiety and depression medicine for years, and I'm not on any of that. So I just got some CBD gummies, which are helping a little bit. I actually got them for my surgery, but I was afraid they wouldn't be strong enough. So I ended up taking a full Xanax, and that definitely doped me up because I forgot I'm not used to having any of these prescriptions in my body anymore. But I'm glad I did because I needed it that day. But I have one left for an emergency, which hopefully I'll never have to use. But I'm on my thyroid medicine, and the rest is vitamins. And it's just like insane how I've completely changed my life, and how it's completely changing my life that I don't have this disease anymore. So in the beginning, when I launched this podcast, I did it because I needed a way to make money, because I didn't know how I was going to make money if I couldn't see. And so when I first got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, which I also do not have, and then NMO, you can be blind and paralyzed like within 2 minutes. And I closed the doors on businesses that I was running. I was writing a book. I stopped that. I turned it into this show as an outlet and a way to make money, to share everything I know about business and my life and LinkedIn and podcasting and all these things, and share everything about having an autoimmune disease so that people with an autoimmune disease know that they can still, live and work and do all these things and like live their best fucking life. Like that was the whole point of it. But I needed to make money, and I needed to make it fast. And so I did my research on how to launch a podcast, and I just made it happen. And so that's how this podcast and this show originally started 2 years ago. I think 2 years ago. And about almost 2 years ago. And that's just how it started. And it's evolved into like, this is my baby. Like podcasting has become such a big part of my life. I've met the most incredible, crazy human beings like through the show. I'm having like the best guests come on. I'm getting downloaded in 47 countries, which is like insane. I pitched iHeartRadio. They have my show. Like you can listen to my show on every single podcasting platform. When I first launched, that wasn't the case. I didn't even know what the hell I was doing in the beginning. And now that I'm a podcast coach and producer, I obviously know what I'm doing because it was like trial and error. And so many people were asking me, how did you do that? And I'm like, I should just put together a service so that I can help all these women that are asking, so I can like really help them up, take their brand or whatever their show is about to like a whole nother level and just like make that shit happen for them. So that's why I incorporated that into my business. But obviously now I don't have NMO, and I, like I said, legally won't really be able to talk about a lot of stuff, but I can talk about the positive spin on like a lot of things in life, and maybe eventually touch on more autoimmune diseases and how you should be eating for them. And right now I'm trying to eat like really clean and healthy, like not have gluten and sugar and carbs and not that much dairy, and also trying to eat from my blood type. And that is so crazy. If you haven't researched that, it's like you can see like what your body's craving, and it's all listed under your blood type and how you should be eating. It's really, really interesting. So I just wanted to share with you guys, a little recap of my week, and that I have been misdiagnosed. I'm moving forward. So many people have said, you should write a book. And it's so funny because I was writing a book until I thought I was going to become blind the next day, and I stopped writing the book. So we'll see. We'll see about that. But I just want to, before I go into all the exciting things I have planned, I have 2 pages of notes in front of me. I just want to kind of end this chapter and leave you with some advice. If you or someone else is going through something health related, the number one thing you have to do is be organized. You must be organized with your health. You need to make sure that your records, everything on your records, are spelled correctly, because one little typo could literally kill you. Excuse me. Time for my iced coffee. I've had quite a few typos on, discharge paperwork from the hospital and a couple other things. So you must be organized with your health. You need to be registered on every single patient portal. It will save you time and money at every single doctor appointment. You have to do these things yourself. You cannot rely on anyone else. If you have a caregiver, or if you're a caregiver, you have to write shit down. You need to put it in your notes on your phone. You need to email it yourself. You need to, like I said, have the patient portals. You need to make sure your passwords are in your phone stored. All of that stuff is going to save you so much time, money, and, you won't have an anxiety attack when you show up at a doctor's appointment. I just want to share that with you, that you have to be organized. I just was calling to make a bunch of appointments for a friend yesterday because her doctor didn't think she could get into another doctor. And I said, that's ridiculous. If I could do something in less than 24 hours that somebody told me I couldn't do for 3 weeks, you better believe I'm getting you these appointments. I got her those appointments, and she's going on Monday. And another one in a week and a half. And you need to call and state the facts. And when you show up, you need to check your records, make sure all the spelling is correct, and be organized and be on top of your game. It's just like when you're trying to lose weight, and if you're on a fitness journey, or you're trying to get a new job or change careers, you better be on your A game to get your shit correct and advance to the next level of life, or whatever the case may be. If you're not organized, it's not going to happen. And so I just want to leave you with that advice. Share that tip with anyone you know going through something, anything health related. If you don't believe the first doctor, then you go to the next and the next and the next. I have 10, like I mentioned earlier, I had 10 doctors involved in this diagnosis, and I got the top in the world, and I'm so lucky because I saved a ton of money thanks to another doctor, and it's money I don't have. Not many people have 10 grand where they could just swipe on a card. I mean, some do, but it's a lot of money. But you just really have to be organized. I can't say that enough. And the second tip I want to share with you is that if you feel comfortable, I said this on my Facebook Lives the other day, you have to share your story. You have to share it because it's going to make you feel better, and it's going to help somebody else. You don't know what somebody else is going through behind closed doors. You may think their Instagram is beautiful, and guess what? Those are the people that message me saying, oh my God, this happened to me. This is what I'm doing, and no one knows. You have to share your story. I have so many podcasts and YouTube videos and Facebook Lives where I'm crying, I'm doped up, I'm speaking so slowly because I'm on so many drugs. And I look back now and I'm like, oh my God, I should seriously delete those. But I'm not, because it's sharing what I went through. And that's just my life. And I feel like I have to continue sharing what I know that's going to help as many people as possible. But if you're going through something health related and you feel comfortable, or if you're a caregiver of somebody in your family and you need questions, there's a million Facebook groups you can join. There's so many YouTube videos. There's podcasts. Do your research. That's another tip. You have to do your research. Whether it's on medication, whether it's on doctors. anything and everything under the sun. Do your research, be organized, and share your story. I want to leave you with those 3 tips because they're the most important and they just need to be done. So now, moving into, this could be quite a long show, moving into the Happy Workaholic podcast and what it's going to be about. So you're probably wondering, like, okay, if she's not going to be, like, bitching and complaining about her autoimmune disease, like, what does she have in store for us? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm so excited. So this show is going to be all about your mind, your body, and your business. And I just want you to be able to listen to this show and get life coaching, health coaching, motivational coaching, business coaching, like all of that in one spot and for free. I want to share everything I know with you guys, whether it's with business and podcasting and, you know, my self-care tips and maybe I'll share some of my healthy recipes, but if you want those, they're always on my Instagram. And, you know, what I do for meal prep and social media and my LinkedIn tips and, you know, my podcasting tips, just like everything I do under my umbrella of the Happy Workaholic Network. That's what I want to share here. So it's going to be about your mind, your body, and your business. And this is going to be a place where you can come and hear other stories from female entrepreneurs on the I Chose This Life series, which has already begun. And I'm getting back on schedule this week. I have not been on schedule, which seriously drives me nuts because I've had so many medical appointments. But now, for the first time in 3 years, in February, I don't have one doctor's appointment besides my therapy because obviously I'm going to need a lot of that. But I don't have a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment. It's like incredible. I highlight my month at a glance in blue when there's a doctor appointment, and I feel like I should just throw away my blue highlighter. Like, I never want to see that fucking color again. But I'm super excited for the series that's going to be kicking off again on Wednesday. So if you're not familiar with the I Chose This Life series, it's a show on Wednesday that I've dedicated to interviewing other female entrepreneurs, and they're sharing their story. See, I told you it's so important to share your story on how they got to where they are today and why they chose the life that they have. Like, why are they doing what they love now? Or why did they work here to get to here? And all the things. So I'm super excited for all new guests, for you guys to hear. Every Wednesday, you're going to be hearing those interview shows. And then on Friday, you're going to be hearing my solo shows. So I'm redoing the intro, the outro music. I'm redoing the branding. I'm redoing my scripts. I'm redoing my show notes. And so much more. So I'm super excited. This is like a brand new chapter of my life. Like, I just got my fucking life back. So you better believe I'm going hard with this podcast and everything else I'm doing. But that is definitely going to be back on schedule this week. So you can expect a brand new episode Wednesday and Friday. Obviously, unless something like horrific happens in my life, which, knock on wood, that is never happening again. But yeah, so something else that I'm changing is that before I had the Happy Workaholic podcast Facebook group, and that is no longer. I have moved it into the Happy Workaholic Network Facebook group because I want it to be more of a community, plus the after show, plus lives with my guests I'm going to be having on the podcast. And what that really is just a happy, healthy, positive, and productive community for all us women who want it all and fucking deserve it all, because you know you deserve it. And just like this show, it's going to be all about business and podcasting and mindset and let's see what else, motivation, self-care. Just this morning I posted like my favorite face masks because I did one earlier. I'm going to be sharing some of my meal prep tips as well as my healthy recipes, which again, you could always find on my Instagram at the Happy Workaholic. And I'm just sharing so much more. I want others to come in and share their favorite things, like share if they've had a shitty day, like I need help, like how do I do this? Like, that's the kind of community it's going to be. So I will put the link in the show notes for that. And the Happy Workaholic Network Facebook group can also be found. Obviously, just search on Facebook, but the link is in my Instagram bio as well. And what else do I want to share with you guys? I'm just like so fucking excited for this brand new chapter. It's just going to be incredible because I am just living my best life. Like, I can't even explain it. I honestly don't really know how to put it in words just yet, except for like I'm excited and I'm so grateful that this like is my life. Like, I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for you listening. I'm grateful for waking up every morning. I'm grateful for all the things that I have in my life. I'm grateful for getting rid of all of the things I don't need in my life. For example, all the boxes I still have to go through that are sitting in Vegas. I can't wait to get rid of those. And just so much more. Like, this podcast has literally changed my business. It's changed my my life. And I love it. And if you are somebody that is looking for that outlet to just share your story or share what's going on in your business, or just another way to expand your personal brand or company, maybe, a podcast is really the way to go. It's literally changed everything for me. And I just wanted to share that I decided this morning as I was journaling. You know when you journal and like all these other business ideas come up in your mind and you're like, but I'm focusing on myself in my journal. That's what happened. So then I got out my work notebook and I'm like, oh my God, I have a million ideas. I want to do this. And so I decided today that I'm going to offer 50% off until the end of the month. So you have until, when is the 31st? Thursday. If you are looking to launch a podcast, you need production, you need coaching, or you just need some lessons, I'm offering 50% off until Thursday. So jump now because the pricing is obviously amazing at 50% off. If you have a friend that is dying to have a podcast, share this information with her because it's only going to be available until Thursday. I just felt, when you have that feeling in your gut, I always talk about this, you just got to go with it. So I'm going with that. And I'm also going to extend that 50% off for my LinkedIn as well. So and my business coaching. So anything I offer on the happyworkaholic.com is going to be 50% off until Thursday, the 31st at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So jump now. I'm telling you, you are going to be obsessed with podcasting once you start. I'm obsessed with coaching my clients. I'm obsessed with producing their show. Like, I love watching them just like grow their fan base. They're, get excited about their episodes. I just love working with other women that just get excited as much as I do. So I wanted to share that with you today. And then also, I am going to be sharing more about having an autoimmune disease. Not a lot, but I still have Hashimoto's. That's so common with people. And if you don't follow the medical medium and everybody's drinking their celery juice and like all those things, it's really important for your thyroid to like hop on that bandwagon. I'm just letting you know now. But I still have an autoimmune disease, and I'm going to be sharing tips on like why you should be eating like certain foods and what it really does for like your body and your skin. And, I'm no health expert, but I'm definitely experienced going through everything. But if you are living with a health challenge, you may already know that one of the most annoying parts is how difficult it is to have a quote-unquote normal social life. I know it can be super tough, and so that's why I'm excited to tell you guys about today's sponsor of the Happy Workaholic podcast. It is the Lemonade app, and Lemonade is Lemonade. search for it in your app store. I've spoken to the founder quite a few times. He is amazing, and he also has an autoimmune disease. So he created this app that's so incredible. It's a new dating app, and it's designed for singles with health challenges. And with Lemonade, trying to come up with the right way to tell your partner about your health or worrying about what they may think will really be a thing of the past. I know for me, like, that could be a struggle, like when I haven't dated, because obviously I was going through all these things, but like that thought was always there, like, okay, when would be the time for me to tell them about this? And have they already seen it on my social media? So it's definitely going to be a thing of the past. Going on a date with all the cards on the table, it totally takes away so much pressure and ensures that you can truly be yourself with all of your defenses down. And Lemonade is working to make that possible. And that's why this app was created, to put everybody at ease. And I think it's a genius, brilliant idea. And the Lemonade app was officially released late last year. And they just launched a Kickstarter page to help raise the money to build out a national ad campaign to bring in a ton of users quickly. I think that's amazing. I wish they had the funds for a Super Bowl commercial, because that would like kill it. But never say never. I absolutely love their mission. I think it's amazing. I think that you should go support their Kickstarter. And you can do so by visiting supportlemonade.com today and back their campaign. Of course, all the information will be in my show notes. I'm going to link to their social media pages. I highly suggest that if you have an autoimmune disease, if you're afraid to let a future partner going on dates, if this is something that you think about, it stresses you out, you have a friend that is in need of something like this, share it with them, share the show, share the information, share the show notes. I always say sharing is caring, always, always. And you need to continue to share your journey, like I've mentioned quite a few times today already, because you never know, by sharing your struggles and your journey and your story, how it can really benefit someone else. I get that feedback a lot, and that has been the reason why I continue to share, even though it was embarrassing, I'm hysterically crying, and I just leave that content there, because if I'm able to help one other person, then I know I'm doing something right. So thank you, Lemonade app, for sponsoring today's show. I truly appreciate it, and I'm so excited for all the things you have in store for your app, and I cannot wait to see how many people are going to download after this show. And what else can I say to you guys? I'm just like so overwhelmed and excited for what's to come with this show. But if you guys have topics you want me to cover, now that you know how the show is going to change and what it's going to be about, if you have certain topics, let me know. You can write me a review on iTunes and let me know there. If you're listening on iHeartRadio, you can type it right there in the live chat. If you have Instagram, which I know you do, screenshot now and send me a DM at The Happy Workaholic and let me know what topics you would like me to cover. If there's a certain guest you would love for me to have on the I Chose This Life series every Wednesday, let me know. I'm doing this show for you guys. I'm giving you everything. I'm giving you all of it. Everything I know, I'm putting into this show moving forward. If you want to be a part of the community, you can visit thehappyworkaholic.com. You can search for the brand new Facebook group, The Happy Workaholic Network. If you have any other questions, you can always contact me through my website at thehappyworkaholic.com. And also, if you want to stay in the know, if you want to get all of my exclusive news first, if you want to hear everything before anybody else, the only way you're going to do that is by now I can't talk. I'm like tongue-tied. The only way you're going to be able to get that news first is by signing up for my VIP newsletter. So you can do that at thehappyworkaholic.com and scroll down to the bottom of the page and you'll be able to sign up right there. You'll get a confirmation and you'll also receive 2 of my business, mindset, and organizational tools that I created, excuse me, for free. One is an Excel document that will help keep you organized, whether you're a stay-at-home mom and you're in charge of budgeting and finances, or you're running a business and need to keep track of your social media stats. I personally do that on the first of every month. That is one document you're going to get, and it's free and it's amazing, and you can change all the columns to make it personalized for yourself. And then the second is just a little cheat sheet where you can jot down, how much water you're doing per day, if you meditated, just like your daily to-dos. It's just a one-sheet document I created really to get your mindset correct and keep it right and tight. So you'll get those two business, mindset, and organizational tools as a complimentary gift from myself, so that as a thank you for signing up for my email list, but also you will get everything, including exclusive deals, only for my VIP email newsletter list. So sign up today if that is interesting to you. But please come on over and join us in the Facebook group, because I'm going to be spending so much time in that group, sharing what I know, doing a lot more Facebook Lives. I'm going to be having the guests from the I Chose This Life series on the after show, on the live, in the group, so you can ask them all the questions after listening to the episode, which is so cool. And then just to remind you, the 50% off sale ends Thursday, January 31st. So if you've been wanting to work with me, you missed the sale at the end of the year because I went hard on the sales. I just think that I should do this until Thursday, so I am. And that's it. So thank you so much for listening to today's episode, number 113. It's the end of one crazy 3-year ride of having an autoimmune disease that didn't really exist. And now I'm moving forward and changing the show into a much more happier, healthier, more positive and productive place for you to come to visit, to just get some laughs, get some information, and get some knowledge, because knowledge is power and sharing is caring. So if you guys love this episode, please take a screenshot, share it with your friends on Instagram or on Facebook, and tag me at The Happy Workaholic. I would love your feedback. And again, if you have any other topics you want me to cover or guests you'd love to hear on the show, I must see. Well, you'll see them in the Facebook group, but you'll hear them on the show first. Let me know, because I'm all about getting that info from you. So the show's 38 minutes long, just about. So I'm going to sign off, and I cannot wait to share the next episode with you. And stay tuned for a brand new look, sound, and feel. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I will talk to you again next week. Bye.